welcome. Thank you for joining us here on the channel. If you are a newbie to me, welcome, very big welcome. And if you want to, please subscribe. If you've come here purely because of you've seen the picture and you've seen what this is all about, good of you, because I'm going to try and make this very simplistic and as easy as I can for new EV owners. Just a bit of history regarding how we got to this stage. If you're new to the channel, you wouldn't know that I've owned many big V8 cars, muscle cars, classic cars and all the rest of it, and now I'm heavily into the EV scene. I owned my first EV 5 years ago approximately, now onto my fourth EV in those 5 years, but not just for me, it's been for the wife as well. I'm currently sitting in a Seat Mii, full electric, 150 mile range, 2-year-old, just literally over 2-year-old. There is a video on here to watch, a post, a vlog, a blog, whatever you want to call it, about this vehicle. Please go and look at it if you fancy a Seat Mii as your first electric car. You're here obviously for a reason, and that reason is that you need to know or want to know about electric cars, how good they are, what they can do for you, and how to operate them and use them on a daily basis. Don't be scared, don't be put off. And if you're on the fence there, you know, and you're on the borderline thinking, do I leave ICE and get over to EVs and I just need that push, let me try and push you in the nicest possible way. I'm going to mention charging, I'm going to mention EV ownership, I'm going to mention public chargers, I'm going to mention what to expect, range and everything else, but it's going to be very in easy speak, if that makes sense to you. Now, to my people who have already subscribed, hello, welcome back again. This might not be for you, it might bore you a bit, but please stay with it. Any comments below that you can add to what I'm going to be ranting about would be great for these new EVers coming on board. And that is what this is all about. So welcome again, like I say. Okay, these cars you see here start from £4,000 all the way up to £140,000. So I have no idea of your budget. What I will do is mention about range and what you need for your daily lifestyle. Okay, range. All right, there's no such thing as range anxiety, may I say. Although saying that 5 years ago, I'd have probably said there is. Now, no, it's impossible to have range anxiety now. If you're new to EVing, and that's why you're here, okay, to find out what it's all about, that might be in the back of your mind. But what happens if I only get a car with a 100-mile range? How do I get to 110 miles without it stopping? Well, en route, you stop and you charge and then you continue again. No more than you would do going into a fuel station and putting an extra £10 worth of fuel in. Buy your EV like you would buy your petrol or let's say fossil fuel car. I like the phrase of that, fossil fuel car. You'd buy it to suit your needs. So range shouldn't be an issue if you buy it for your lifestyle. Now, let's go for an EV, which is the cheaper side of it, doing about 100-mile range. A lot of these are about there because these are a lot of older used vehicles, and again, I don't know your budgets. So if you've got a budget of 140,000 because you're going to go out there and buy a 140,000 pound car with the biggest battery you can get, giving you 350-mile range per charge, and so what I'm saying now is going to be a complete waste of time. If you are the majority of people watching this and you're going to buy a car from say 5,000 to 20,000, okay, because that's your budget. Even at 20, you're still going to be on the used side of EVs, just. So you will have a lot less range. It's as simple as that. Cars between that price range of say 5 to 20 normally have a range of no more than around 240 mile. Don't let range put you off buying an EV, because with all the charging facilities that are going up now and the infrastructure that's getting very good now, range anxiety shouldn't really be there. So don't be put off buying a car that suits your lifestyle, not what suits Mr. Musk or Mr. BMW to sell you something at 50, 60,000 that you really don't need. Okay, I'm just sitting in my wife's Seat Mii, which I think I mentioned before. Come into this just to check what it was actually doing on range last time we took it out. Now, range can be split into two things, and that is what you see as a number on the screen when you get in thinking, oh, that's the range I've got, and what range you actually get out of it. Because never mind what it says on the screen,
or what you read when you go out and buy a new EV, the so-called WLTP figures are BS. Don't take no notice of them. If you see a car that's being sold and the dealer tells you that the WLTP range of this car is 240 mile, well, I would knock at least 40 to 45 mile off that and say it's more like around the 190 guaranteed range any time of year. Because obviously what happens with range can differ between summer and winter. In the summer, when you've got that lovely hot weather, the battery is at its ultimate. In the winter, it's at its worst. Never mind how good the battery management system is around your vehicle, be it a Tesla, a BMW, an Audi, or any of the top spec so-called better EVs. It doesn't matter if you're in this little Seat Mii, you're going to lose range in the winter. Now, you're also going to lose range the way you drive it. So if the WLTP says 240 and I'm telling you it's going to be 190, in the winter, you may lose another 10 off that. The way you drive could lose another 10. So just be very, very wary. You'll find your own driving styles that suit your car. If you're a fast driver, just don't expect to get the range. Motorway driving, that's the other one. Now, motorway driving speeds at 70, some cars like the Tesla Model 3 and Model Y are very good at 70 mile an hour. They do show a very good range figure and what you get out of it. i.e. at 70, you might still be getting 3.4 miles kilowatt hour that's coming out your battery. Now, certain cars like this little Mii here that I'm sitting in, these are brilliant around town and when you're in light traffic and up to 50 mile an hour. This thing normally in the summer will give me anything from the worst scenario being around 4.6, 4.7 miles per kilowatt hour to the best of around 6.2, depending again on weather and the way I drive it. My wife does exceptionally well out of this because she drives it a lot slower than me. So just remember that, folks, when you're looking at range and talking about range and thinking about buying an electric car, don't take the range that it says in the book, in the brochure, or what the dealer's telling you, because they are very misleading. It's just the same with petrol cars and diesel cars. You know, when you used to go to the dealer and the dealer used to say, oh yes, you'll get 45 miles per gallon out of this on average. Well, then you got it home and 2 months later you realise it was only doing 36 miles on average. That's the same. It's the same kind of thing. So get ready for losses of those figures.
Okay, charging, the infrastructure, chargers, how to use them, where they are, and will you need one? I say that because I don't know if you're going to have a home charger. I'm going to start with home chargers first. Most home chargers now, brand new, start at around $399 to around the average of about $599. So my advice, if you want a home charger fitted, buy used. Buy a used one. They very, very rarely go wrong. I've had mine now for nearly 5 years, the original charger. It's called Project EV. Now, here in the UK, we're very lucky that we've got 240 volt because these home chargers don't need any more than a normal hookup to our electric units to give 7.3 maximum output of kilowatt. This is a Project EV. I've had this now for, again, like I say, between 4 and 5 years, and it basically just gets hooked up to your 240 outlet with its own trip, so it's separate to the house. They come as two types, one tethered and one not tethered. This is a non-tethered unit. In other words, you put your own lead in there. The tethered ones have a lead at all times. They're a bit more expensive for tethered, but I've never seen the use of a tethered because with all EVs you normally get a cable, so you might as well just use your own cable out of your own car. We are a 2-car EV family and we've got a cable for both of them to go in here. Simple to use, just plug it in and away you go. Now what you will find is that even inside some of the cars, like that is flashing up and down there, look, as you can see, some have an internal way of telling you that it's charging, some don't. This has really nothing on there, but there is, like I say, a flashing light down on the middle console, but all are different. Now this will continue now charging until I want it to stop.
I'm a devil for leaving leads out. Just make sure it's tucked away as a trip hazard. So to get this out of here now, you'll find that this is locked, so you cannot pull these out. So no one can take you off charge. But to get that out of there, if you simply lock the car, okay, and then unlock it, as if you're going to go into it, it goes off. That will then allow you just to pull that straight out. And then in turn, put your cover back on. That will lock. So that's it. That's as easy as it is to charge this little red thing here on a home charger. Project EV, I'm not going to push their product, but I've been very happy with that. Just lately, I've just had it repaired. Well, it wasn't a repair, it was a new trip it wanted, because it kept tripping out. Turned out that there was a bit of a fault with it. I had a new one put in by a local electrician. Yes, it was 100 quid to get put in, but he put me a 40 amp one in there now, and so I shouldn't have any issues. So far, brilliant. Now, if you don't want to buy a home charger, or you live in a flat or an apartment, okay guys, not forgetting you people living in terraced housing, there's two ways of getting around this, and the council offer both. These are gullies in pavements, keeps it nice and safe, no trip hazard, and this specialist company is offering that now through councils. Also, this is a big one, lamppost chargers. These have gone up all the way over through Oxford and some in London, as you can see there, and that's a big thing for the future. It is a bonus to have an home charger. It is very beneficial if you can, but you don't really 100% need one. Check your workplace out. Ask your boss, is there a way of charging my EV here when I come to work? Most will have or get one fitted and offer it as a workplace benefit. If they don't want to do that, you could charge your car up with a normal 3-pin 240 plug with the official lead into your car. Okay, there are some aftermarket ones you can buy. It's just make sure you're doing it and charging it up from a good sound 240 location. And if you try it for the first time, you plug it in and you bring it out and you plug it in your car, stay with it for 10 or 15 minutes and just go and check the plug, see if it's not getting hot. And if it's just lukewarm and the lead's not getting hot, magic, you've done it. Try not to use extension leads. You can, but try not to. It's best avoidable. I used to use one quite often, but just make sure that you've got a big thick extension lead if you're going to use it. Not, you know, don't get it rolled up. Make sure it's completely unraveled, but try not to. But that's just an idea. If you can't get a workplace proper charger, you can always charge it up with a 3-pin 240 plug, and at home as well. If you can't get a workplace charger, you can't get a home charger, you are going to be in the minority, because the majority of people can either get one or the other. So again, public chargers. Some public chargers are still only 25 pence per kilowatt hour every time you put in your vehicle. Now this works out of the way because they're going to be slower chargers. They're going to be around 7, 11 or the most 22 kilowatt on a normal type 2 plug. It's only when you go higher than 22 kilowatt you're going to use CCS, which is the bigger plug, two together. I'll cross that bridge in just a moment. Well, I've come up today in the little red one. I was going to come up in the Tesla, but I thought, no, I'll come up in the little red one. I'll tell you for why. This is just to show you the basics on how to use a charger, a public charger. This is GridServe, and you've got 3 options. Let me just show you what I mean by that 3 options. First of all, just make sure that you're ready with this, all open, ready to go. Now, I will show you the CCS on this, because this is what I'm going to use. Let me show you what I mean. There you go. All right, that then goes straight in to this port here, which is so simplistic. It's as easy as that. That is now ready to charge. You then come up to the machine and do this. So here's the machine. If you was going for CHAdeMO, all right, in other words, if you had a Nissan basically, that would be the one that you would use. See, CHAdeMO, but we don't need that today. And also Mennekes, there you are, typical, normal. If you add your own lead to use and you wanted to use AC to charge it up with your own lead. But today we are going to use CCS, and it's that shape there. So now I have to present the card and put some charge in. They are, card presented. It will now start charging. Charger authorization is successful. Your charging session will begin. You hear a big click And that's it, it's preparing to charge. It's as simple as that. I mean, there's nothing hard about it. Using a public charger. Connects to the vehicle. There you go. I'm already got 74% in there, look. It's 69p kilowatt hour it puts in. I'm not going to be using it for a great deal. This was just to show you. I'm paying far less than that at home. And all this information is sometimes bigger on other machines. This just happens to be GridServe, which are one of the biggest people. These and Instavolt and BP Chargemaster, probably your biggest three in the UK. If you go onto my channel, you will see where I've done a complete progress report on all of this. I'm still charging, by the way. Still green, like you see on here. A progress report on all this and how it was put in by GridServe, how long it took, and everything else. And like, they class these as medium power. They're your high power ones down there. So anyway, I'm going to end it there now. I don't need to spend any more money on this thing. So let's plug in your vehicle, tap your contactless card, tap the disconnect on stop, which is down here, look. Give you a digital receipt if you want it. Job done. They also do lease cars as well now, look, from GridServe. Some of their GridServe units are big and got canopies over the top of them and coffee shops and everything else, but there you go. So we'll leave it at that because I've got a latte in there getting cold, so job done. Stopped it is. Thank you for charging with GridServe. That is it. Take it out and always put them back on there, people. So nothing to get complexed about. Put these back on. Bottom one first, then your top one. They will now lock. Shut that. I'm ready to go. I'm going to pull it off here now because I'm not using it. Job done. So please try and only use public chargers just to top up, to make yourself comfortable, or to get you to your destination. That's what they're called, destination chargers. There is one thing that I will mention regarding range, and it also comes into the charging scenario. So this is connected to the two sections that I'm kind of doing here, and that is that there are a lot of good apps out there that will tell you where the best chargers are. And again, I'm ranting about Tesla, but Tesla's system is totally different. So I'm not going to mention superchargers because the Tesla system allows the software on the car to tell you how many are being used at a location, how long it's going to take you to charge at that location. It even preconditions your battery for you. This is where I'm saying the tech on a Tesla is a bit more than most other brands, but let's leave Tesla out of it. So as regards apps, there's one called ZapMap, there's one called PlugShare, and there's a couple of others in the US if you ever go to the US and do a road trip, whatever. But in the UK, ZapMap and PlugShare are probably the two best. Comes up on a big map, tells you where they are and everything else and what brand they are. It normally gives you cost as well, and you're allowed to put stuff on ZapMap to say that, oh, I found it wasn't working, and you can put a picture, upload a picture up there as well and everything else. And it's quite useful if you've got a normal regular EV that is not a Tesla. So yeah, that's the apps you can buy and where you'll find EV chargers. Okay, here's all the charging type plugs. Top one, 3-pin 240, we know that. Type 1, don't worry about it too much, it's phased out now. Type 2, that's your big one. That will do all the EVs that you know in the UK. The next one down would be the CHAdeMO. That's normally Nissan. The big one there is CCS. That's that big shape one there. That's your power one. That's your 50 kilowatt up to about 350 on DC. Well, hiya guys, here's a giveaway for you from Instavolt. Go down to the App Store, download their app. It's so easy. There it is there. You're looking at it there on your left-hand side. Get that downloaded on the store, and then once you've put your details in and you've used the app once on a charge, you will get £5 free of charge. Just use that code there, YD, capital C, M, capital W, to get the £5 credit on your account. There's a free one for you. Okay, let's move on to one pedal driving. I will show you this in just a moment, how to do it, or how it actually does it, should I say, because you don't need to do anything. Some cars will have far more regen than other cars. Now, regen is regenerative braking. Okay, here's a drawing or diagram without getting too technical regarding regenerative braking. Just remember, it brakes for you off the electric motors and produces electricity at the same time back into your battery. That's the basics of it. Basically, all EVs have it. Some are harsher, some are quite light. Some even have adjustable paddles, so you can go from light, medium to high.
The Tesla is quite fierce with it, which is great because it brings you to a stop quicker. The little red one we've got there, the C-App, is good only if you put it into a certain mode in the transmission. When it's in D mode, i.e. regular drive, you don't really need to be cautious of one pedal driving, purely because it doesn't do it. When it's in D mode, you have to drive it like a normal automatic. But as I've got my foot on the accelerator now, I'm doing a regular 45, just under 50 mile an hour down this country road. And I'm going to take my foot off now, and it's just like a normal automatic. We're still doing 44, 43, 42, 41, 40. So I only lost about 4 or 5 mile an hour in that short space. Now, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put it into B mode. I'm now going to get up to that same speed as I come up to these T-junctions. I'm going to do just under the 50 now, and then take my foot off, and instantly that regen is down to it's down to 40, 35 mile an hour. So for the same time lapse and the same distance, it slows down 15 mile an hour. One pedal driving. Now the whole idea and concept of this is that you do not need to really touch your brakes. So the other thing regarding this is that you're going to save money on braking components, because the average EV will actually be fine for up to 100,000 miles, some even better, depending on where you are in the world and you don't touch your brakes a lot and you drive gently, and all other things took into consideration. But to be fair, if you're an average driver, here even in the UK where we do a lot of stop and starting, if you use that one pedal braking facility, or one pedal driving capability should I say, the chances of going through your front or rear brakes for changing and for repairs and for servicing before 70, 80, even 90,000 mile will be quite rare. Whereas in most ICE cars, stroke fossil fuel cars, let's face it, all you do all the time is touch your brakes, and in automatics even more so, because you're always having to touch your brakes to slow yourself down. So, but with regen, it gives you that one pedal driving. A lot more to it than I'm saying here, but until you find which car you're going to have, you'll know how much regen the thing has and how much of a one pedal drive it will give you. In other words, all you use is just your accelerator and nothing else, and once your foot's off the accelerator, it comes to a stop for you. And you'll know how the distances are and everything else, because all EVs are slightly different, brand to brand. Now, onboard tech. I put this in with the one pedal because it's part of it, the e-pedal stroke one pedal driving. It's kind of part and parcel of your tech that you'll get with your EV. Most good modern EVs will have a form of app on a smartphone that will allow you to do a lot more than any ICE car could do. You can turn your heating on at any time. You can turn your AC on without being at the car. Tesla has a Sentry system where you can actually look at cameras all the way around the car to see who's looking at it, who's touching it, who's been near it. You can alarm it off the app. You can also put Sentry mode on 24/7 off the app with a Tesla. Others are getting there, others are not far behind their app. Some apps are very good, some are a little iffy. You'll find that most tech is app based. You don't have to use the app, you can do it manually, you can do it by voice on a lot of cars now to tell it to do stuff. But the tech on an EV is far more advanced than the majority of tech you can find on any ICE car, because you don't need to switch it on to do things to it. That's the difference. So if you're going to buy an EV, you know, and you love the tech, well, look, give Tesla a chance and have a look at the top end EVs, but you're going to pay more money, you know. If you want something very basic, low tech, but still does the job, something like that little red Seat Me or the Volkswagen e-Up, or maybe even the Renault Zoe, or something more simplistic. But the tech on an EV is far better than the regular tech you've been used to on an ICE car. Okay, this brings me to battery pack. Now, I wouldn't get too deep and involved in the battery pack on an EV, but I will say a few pointers. And the first one being, the battery pack is the heaviest thing on that car. It will be always central and low slung. So most EVs handle very well because of the low slung weight of the battery under the floor. Also, the way that the EV battery is designed gets rid of that middle turret where the prop shaft used to go on ICE cars. So you'll have flat floors, both front and rear. This creates a lot more space in the environment of an inside of an EV over the inside of an ICE car. You don't get any of this going down the middle. So more design concepts can be looked at with a battery pack over an ICE car. Battery packs change from brand to brand. There are a lot of different formats of battery. Tesla, for example, are using 2 or 3 at the moment. There's one called LFP, which is a LiFePO battery. Now, basically what that means is it's got 0 cobalt, 0 nickel, doesn't get as hot. You can charge it 100% every single time you charge, whereas other battery packs, NCM battery packs, you're advised to go no lower than 20, no higher than 80% charge. Unless, of course, you're going to use it straight away, then you can go to 100% because you're going to use the vehicle. But don't go too heavy on this 20 to 80 malarkey. There's no real 100% you will ruin your battery pack by not doing this 20 to 80 facts yet been bought out. I know vehicles that have been fast and rapid charged all their lives with over 100,000 miles on the clock and always to max and down to empty, and they're still going fine from the battery. So don't be suckered into thinking that battery packs are an issue. They are not. In fact, on my channel you'll see 1 or 2 videos that are made regarding battery packs and the so-called fake news that are around about them. So don't panic about them. There are lots of new ones coming out from China now who seem to be the world leader when it comes to battery packs for EVs at the moment, although some would dispute that. But all the good ideas are coming out of China. Don't be put off by that because they are far more advanced than people make out, especially your hardcore ICE owners, and more so my American friends. They seem to be very anti-China stroke anti-EV because they are kind of like ruling the roost at the moment. I'm sorry, but they are. But let's see if things change and the Americans can get back up there to where they really need to be on battery technology. So yes, even Tesla uses a Chinese battery format. BYD are one of the biggest people, and CATL, C-A-T-L. Go Google that because, like I say, I don't want to get too deep on batteries for you. It can be quite complex, but don't worry about it. It holds your power. Use it and charge it again. That's all you've got to worry about being an EV owner. Now, guys, it goes without saying that servicing is going to be very low on an EV. You've got 70% less parts on average, so there's no filters hardly, there's no oil changes, there's no spark plugs, so your servicing is going to be very cheap in comparison. Now, just to make this clear, there is no such thing as zero servicing. Even on electric vehicles, you have to service them sometimes. The point I'm making here is the fact that an ICE vehicle has to be serviced every 3, 5, 10, 12, 15,000 miles, depending on the brand, what engine you've got and everything else. The average is kind of 10,000 to 12,000. Then you'll have it serviced. You'll drop the oil, you'll change the air filter, you might even change the spark plugs, who knows. With an EV, there's none of that. The only time you'll get it serviced per se is when you want to take it in to get a stamp in the book. But a lot of that has now gone electronic. Now, the last time I serviced a vehicle was a Nissan Leaf, and for that service, all I got was up on the ramps, a guy with a video saying, here, KK, blah, 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 went round it saying, everything's fine, everything's good, your brakes are great, blah, blah, and that's it. And it took 5 minutes at a cost of 165 set fee from Nissan. It might need some form of lubricant changing at 100,000 miles on the drivetrain, for example, or in the motors or something around there. But I will never ever get to that stage. The chances of me doing that are very slim because I don't intend to keep my car to 100,000 miles. I'll be renewing it at around 20 to 25,000 miles. So servicing for me will be zero, absolutely zero. And spending money on parts will be zero. But yes, there is a small, very small contingent of servicing needed for an EV. It's not totally free of servicing, but it's near as damn virtual. There's not a great deal, folks. So that's the servicing and the parts covered. Parts, well, like I've said in the front of this section, it's 70% less parts than a normal ICE car on average. Some are 80% less, depending on what ICE car you have. The more complex the car, the more parts and bits it's going to need to service and to keep on the road and repair. With an EV, there is none of that. There is no repairing to really do. The motors will hardly ever fail. I don't know to anyone yet that's ever failed in the last 5 years I've been into EVs, and 10 years I've actually been looking at electric vehicles. Battery packs, again, all the hype about battery packs, don't believe it. Do not believe it. They would not give you an 8-year warranty if they thought it was going to pack up within 2 or 3 years. So again, nothing to service and nothing to buy parts for on the battery pack. So that really covers that. Very cheap, aren't they? Anyway, people, hope this has helped. I will end this one by saying one thing, slightly negative, and that is that because people blame me for not being negative enough about EVs. I don't know how that comes about, but I will say that some chargers will not be working when you get to them. You know, report them, let people know that they're not working, use ZapMap and everything else, and let the manufacturers know they're not working. Text, email, whatever. The more you report not working, the quicker they'll get fixed, basically. So, but yeah, that is a common occurrence that I would guess 1 out of every maybe 15 chargers that you'll come across probably won't be working, either because the card system will be broke, or maybe the charger itself needs a service or attention. A minority few have actually had their leads cut off. Why people would do that I don't know, with that kind of voltage, to kill themselves, but no comment there. So to finish this one off, people, hope you've enjoyed this. Hope it's been informative if you're just coming on board the EV scene. And like I say, if you have an EV and you want to just drop a comment to help me out as much as any new EVer, please do. Anything. I'm bound to have missed the loads. I'm bound to have said the odd thing wrong. Come on, I make too many videos. I can't keep up with them. But if you're just here for the first time, like I said at the front of this, please subscribe. If you like my content, plenty more to come on the EV scene. But on this one, and EVing in general, for beginners, I hope it's done something for you. Please subscribe if you're not already on the channel with me. I'd love you to come on board, and I hope it's just been useful to you as a newbie or as a possible future EV owner. So with that, I'm going to be getting back home because I've just come into town. I'm going to get myself a nice hot latte and chill for the afternoon. Look after yourselves, people.